Another day, another dollar, Adam.
That's what we're supposed to make?
Could you imagine making $365 a day? And there's people in the world that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, let's just start this off with some depression. Welcome to the Finals and Outdoors Podcast.
Where we identify all your first world problems.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's get them out.
Let's talk about it. Can you believe how expensive brisket is right now? Oh, there's people starving around the world. Let's talk about brisket prices.
Yeah. That's good.
I don't have a problem going there. You know?
No, I want brisket.
I mean, last podcast we talked about confrontation and you know, handling things, and so
now
you know,
we maybe just need to get
talking
things
to
out.
some world problems, and one of the world's problems right now is the price of brisket.
Oh man!
Tell me I'm wrong.
Tell
me I'm wrong.
I think it's wrong. It is definitely wrong. I mean, we're gonna go political real fast.
I love brisket.
We're gonna go political real fast.
This old donkey back here on the back 40 behind my house is starting to look pretty briskety.
Pretty delicious.
You ever had donkey brisket?
I have never had donkey, but that is a delicacy in over in the Middle East.
Donkey is?
Donkey.
Really?
Wild donkey?
Well, he ain't very wild.
No. I mean, maybe it tastes better.
He bit Matthias one time.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, he's feeding him, and he just got a little friendly.
Gotcha.
You know,
I thought like Matthias was chilling on the fence and he just ran up and
no, it wasn't like that. He was feeding him some carrots or something, and one of Matthias's fingers kind of had a little carrot vibe, and he just
went for it, huh?
Yeah, and it was like legit bite, like it bothered him.
Yeah,
got him.
I bet it bothered me.
Yeah, no, I know it bothered you. You're a wuss.
That's fine. There's at this point, it's just is what it is. You just better to know yourself, you know?
Yeah, no, you got to just this is who I am.
You got to accept it.
This is who I am. I can't do dairy.
You can't.
Can't do dairy.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to own it. Just take that.
You just got to take that one because it's just a part of you now.
It's an L that I must take.
You must take.
It's an L that I have to take. It's an L.
You have fought valiantly though, trying to not take
100%,
it.
100%.
And
you know, and there's certain things that I'm just. You know how kids are kidnapped, you know, the whole creeper van idea, like offering free candy.
Yeah.
If you offer me cheesecake, I'm going to get in.
Hey, little boy. I got you a milkshake. Nah.
Well, big boy. Hey, big boy.
A little guy.
Ain't no little guy here.
Well, I feel like if that person is trying to get you in their creeper van, they're like a Goliath. So to them,
how big is the kidnapper that takes me?
He just got one
if
good
there's one guy, if there's
dart.
one, well, that's true.
Just
took it to the neck, bro.
That's one of those things.
It's in your neck.
It's in the bone. Oh, that's a good movie.
Oh, that is a great movie.
That's a great
Ace Ventura.
Pet Detective
2.
Yeah.
It's in the bone. Bumblebee tuna. Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna. Yeah.
Oh,
we got to bring that back.
Well, that's what we're going to do this afternoon. We're done here. We're going to go watch Ace Ventura 2.
What did you do?
Wouldn't that be great? My kids come home from school.
Just sitting there, there's
like
bag of Cheetos.
Ava gets off the bus. She'll be in the house about 2:45.
Yeah.
And we're just in there watching Ace Ventura Pet Detective. I got some French onion dip.
Laces
which
out,
has some dairy. Still worth it.
Still worth it?
I'll make a run.
So sour cream doesn't really...
No, it hurts.
It does?
Oh, yeah, sour cream hurts.
So that time we had the beef jerky chips and I brought out that sour cream and ranch dip or whatever. Did it get you?
100%, bro. 100%.
That was pretty worth it, though.
No, I mean...
They were pretty
There's
good.
certain things, but...
It's worth the risk.
It's worth the risk. It's worth the risk sometimes, and cheesecake is one of those things. And you know what's funny is that there's certain things that you eat that are acquired tastes. Like there's things that I love now that when I was a kid I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't. I mean,
like cheesecake? Would you not?
I didn't really enjoy cheesecake as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be. No, I'm not eating that.
I don't think I did really either, though.
Right. What else? What's another thing that like you enjoy now? But
coffee.
As a kid? Well, yeah, that's 100%.
Coffee is 100%. That's for me. Here, I mean, that's within like the past year.
No, it's thanks to deer camp.
Yeah. Well, and I went straight from like don't like it to black.
I know you really did.
Like I went a little aggressive.
You went from like, I don't enjoy coffee at all to being like, you know, it looks like
cowboy coffee.
Syrup pouring out.
Can I get some grit in it?
Yeah, exactly. I like a little grind. Just chewing it. You're just chewing it. You're just putting it in like it's a dip.
Is that dip? No, that's coffee. Deer camp final
I've
scent blend.
heard of people doing that, like driving.
For real?
Oh yeah, dipping coffee.
I want to try it now.
Just dipping coffee.
Should crack that bag open and give it a whirl.
No, we're not doing that. You're spitting in my floor. It's just gross, bro.
Oh god,
not good, not good. So I taught my kids a very important lesson recently.
Yeah,
that I feel like needs to be talked about. My boys. I did a Walmart grocery order.
Mm-hmm.
All right, went and picked it up, put it all in the bed of my pickup.
Yeah.
And go home, and I told Josiah, I said, all right, you can help me carry these in. And by help me carry it in, I mean, I'm going to stand here.
You're going to load me.
You're going to load my arms with every bag. And so literally, I mean, 40 bags.
Yeah.
You know, probably close.
Yeah.
And he was like, Dad, just go. And I'm like, no, son. He's like, just go. You know, like 30. Yeah. He's like, just go, Dad. Yeah. Just go. And I'm like, no. You know, my hands are turning purple. I mean, literally like turning purple. And he's like, Dad, he's kind of worried about me. He's the only kid I have that has empathy.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, keep getting him. Bring another one.
Yeah.
Bring another one. And like now I'm using my 2 fingers. So my arms are full. So now we've got 2 fingers up. So I've got like 3 bags here, you know. And I was like, all right, now go around and open the door. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so... taught the kids. It's a very important man rule. You make 1 trip.
Yeah.
1 trip when you're carrying in groceries. Mm-hmm. That's all you get.
But in the same time, is it divisible by the men that are there? Like if you and I are both there, we're taking them in 1 trip.
By the way, I need you to help me move a dryer in my house. That reminds me.
By the way,
I need your help.
By the way,
when we get done with this, I'm going to need you to move a dryer. So on the front of our dryer, which is it's out of course it's immediate, like it's like out of warranty, like
that's how they do
8 months ago.
Yeah.
But on the front part where your vent is, it's a front load dryer. Mm-hmm. There's a little plastic on that front,
little the seal or whatever, like the weather stripping.
Yeah, but it's plastic.
Something like that.
It's gotten like somehow it got hot and it's like frayed itself up, and like clothes are getting caught on it, and it's like tearing clothes. Like every time you run the dryer, you're sacrificing one item,
just giving it to the dryer gods.
And I'm like, this is so stupid, and I can't order just that. I've looked to find that, like, because it's like the plastic that runs around the whole deal, and it's like one whole piece, and it's like not a thing. Like you can't order that thing. And so anyway, so it's just it's a freaking mess. And so I brought a dryer from Raiden, not the one that was in the house. I had another one. It was my mom's old dryer. So we're gonna
bonus.
It's a bonus dryer on Maytag. So I need you to help me bring it in the house today.
Okay. Noted.
What were we talking about before that?
We were talking about carrying groceries, and I said
so if there's 2 guys there,
it's divisible by the 2.
Have you ever had another guy there to help you carry in groceries?
No, to my specific residence.
Think about that for a second. No. I'm not like
if you're like
camp,
something
or you're
like
like no, that's totally different.
Totally different.
I'm talking it's just you. But then I think about like, oh man, I've been alive over 41 years of my life now, and I can't think of a time where I had another adult male there when I was carrying groceries.
I can't think of
Is
one.
that just like a weird thing in the universe that just doesn't happen?
Well, I mean, grocery shopping is kind of a thing personal to your own family unit, I guess.
Yeah, but like, you have people around, so like, your wife comes home and she's got the groceries or whatever. But I can't think of one time that I've ever like went and did that there was just another male there that I had to like,
I think that's the only time that's ever changed is like when like Casey will get home with the groceries. Like I see her come in and she's got a couple bags, and I know whose the rest of the bags there are. They're mine.
Yeah, you're yours. Yeah.
They're mine.
She's carrying it
in one trip.
She's carrying it enough to let you know that you got work.
She's home. Yes, yeah. She's home, and I've got bags.
Well, I'll tell you
to
what she won't carry: sheetrock, and I'm disappointed in her. You know, you waited 3 hours.
3 hours for that.
Casey could have unloaded in 3 hours. Could you think Casey in 3 hours could have unloaded it in 3 hours by herself?
Oh, I mean, I would have hoped so.
Yeah. See, disappointing. She's never gonna watch this.
No, she's not. Actually, she watched the past few of them.
Oh,
she
crap.
did. Yeah,
come back to me.
She's
just kidding, Casey.
Just kidding, Casey. This is how she keeps tabs on our lives. She's like, oh, what are they up to lately?
Yeah,
just listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
it'll all come out.
What about she watched the Frankie podcast and everybody left confused.
It was good.
Yeah, we left confused. Frankie left confused.
It was good.
Confused. It was good. It was good. We need to have another guest.
Yeah.
I've reached out to a couple people. Brett Will stood us up.
That's fine.
Nothing new.
It's what it is.
He's the shadiest, best guy I know.
Oh, Brett Whip Will.
Is that not a great way to describe Brett? The shadiest best guy you know.
The shadiest best guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could roll with it. If that's going to see something that we got to add to the credits now, it's like Brett Whip Will, the shadiest best guy we know. Like here on out, however many more seasons of Finalists and Outdoors do we add a new paragraph?
We did just half a season this year. We just called the network up in August and we're like, man, we're not sending you.
Terminate.
We're not sending you Q4. We're just over it.
Can you just rerun those again, please?
It's really hot.
Yeah.
Just too hot to be out there filming these interviews.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just too hot for it.
It wouldn't, at this point, would it make you mad?
It would not. No, probably not.
Remember that last episode I was talking about those 3 periods of time in which we have to have a life-changing examining moment? It's like, it's always the very, very end.
Somebody come along and offer me a really good job.
And just say, there we go. Just call it.
I'm out, Adam.
That's fine. I told you. If it comes down to it, as long as we can find a package deal.
That's right. You got to bring me with you.
That's like,
bring me with you.
Hey, I'm sure both of us could find soft spots to land, and then we just do the podcast. People are like, why are they still doing that? Therapy.
It really is therapy.
It's therapeutic.
You know, honestly, like this is really what this was. Really, it is for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, our last podcast was a little therapeutic because, I mean, afterwards we got off and we're like, you know,
that was nice. I always feel better.
Yeah, and I did feel better because there was some stuff that we talked about that I felt like I needed to talk about. Maybe I kind of bottled up a little bit. It was good to speak it and to get it out. And then we both looked at the camera and said, I forgive you. And then I hope you'll forgive me.
Yeah.
And then we talked about, you know, hey, this was for so-and-so and this was for so-and-so and this is for so-and-so, you know. And that was good. Yeah. It was good. So this is a little bit therapeutic for us. And here's the deal. People need it.
People need therapy.
People need us.
They get to see how screwed up we are, and it makes them feel better about themselves.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe they watch us and go, look at these train wrecks.
Speaking of trains, we haven't. It's been a minute.
I know.
Maybe they just decided.
It's the economy.
It
shut down BNSF.
Brisket, BNSF.
Yeah.
What else we got to lose here?
You just can't afford to haul brisket on a train no more.
Cost is astronomical.
Losing money.
Crap's ridiculous.
Losing money. They're laying people off.
There's this. Oh gosh. Yeah. So anyway, we can try to stay on topic.
What topic?
The man card thing. We were talking about the carrying the groceries in.
Okay. I didn't realize that we had focused in that this podcast is. I mean, man code.
But I think we can. I think there's a road to hoe here. I think we can go down on this.
No, we can chase some man code. Let's talk man codes.
There's some man codes out there that I think need to be established.
Are we talking urinal etiquette?
Like that's a great one.
All right, let's talk urinal.
Did you know
etiquette.
there's an iPod or not iPod? Hell, well, 1998 just flew. Man, that was early 2000s.
I just had an MP3 player.
I got my iPod. You remember the little tiny iPods that were like that big? What were those called?
I don't know.
The iPod. They look like the mics we use now.
I don't have the money. I didn't have the money. I know what you're talking about though.
I didn't have one either, but I remember thinking that'd be cool to have.
Yeah, I'd lose it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like I still don't know how we haven't lost our mics yet.
These mics?
No. Like our little deity mics.
I've tried.
We lose the What's the number
furry.
one thing we lose?
Little furry.
The windscreen.
The windscreen.
Little dead
gone.
kitten.
That's sucker.
Gone every time.
Order those in 50 packs. Just let Brad just keep losing those things because I'm an idiot when it comes to those, man.
When you get done, I think it's like cotton candy. When you wear them, shooting a 120-degree interview, they just melt.
That's just true. It's like cotton candy, just melt.
Where'd they go? Oh, it's...
Brad didn't actually have chest hair until we started filming the show, and it's just melted. That's what my chest hair is melted windscreens.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That's vile. Yeah. So, urinal etiquette. There is an entire iPod game. iPhone game.
Okay, keep saying iPod.
iPhone. There's an iPhone game that tests your urinal etiquette skills.
No way.
I'm to guarantee you it.
Download it right now.
Okay, I'll find it. But you explain while I try to find the app.
Well, so for the ladies that are listening, whoever they are, there are aspects of urinal etiquette because ladies get a stall. You get to go sit down. You get to be.
Don't know how good you got it.
You don't know how good you got it, ladies. And they look at it, you can stand up and you can move fast or whatever. But there are aspects. Urinal etiquette about if urinals are open, right? If there are multiple, if it's capable of being so, you don't go stand next to a person. So if you can leave a gap in between you and that person, you do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time. All right, you go and you leave a gap. You'd like to leave a urinal in between you, if possible. You walk in, and nobody's at a urinal, and there's 5 urinals. Which urinal are you going to, Adam?
All the way.
All the way to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go up against the wall.
Yeah.
Right? Go against the wall.
Yeah.
Right?
You're setting a tone.
You're setting a tone, right? You're setting a tone. I wish people would view urinal etiquette like they sit at church.
Yeah.
Right? Scoot to the middle. Scoot on down, right? Go to the end. Leave room for the clays when they roll in 15 minutes after service started. You know what I mean? Got to leave room for those people that are late. And so you go all the way to the end. That's what you do. Did you find it?
Urinal etiquette game.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't find it on an app, but this is the website. And so this website specifically will test your urinal etiquette. You have to figure out which one of these would you go to. Okay, so where are you going on this one? Let's test
the first one here. All right, the first one here. All right, this top one. This is easy. We're going 6 all day. All right, I'm going to the far end because I'm leaving the space.
You got to maintain your gap structure.
Got to maintain gap structure. All right. Ooh, 2. I feel like it's 6 again. Why would I go? I don't want to be next to the guy.
I think there's a lot of right answers in that.
No, I think there is 2, but I'm gonna go 6. I don't want to stand next to you.
See, I think in that instance, I would go 5 because I'm gonna maintain the gap structure for the next guy that comes in to have 1 in between. So there's a thought process there. It's like that next one there, very, very tricky indeed section. That's hard. I don't even know where you go with that one. That one's tough.
Really, there's no wrong answer.
There's really not a wrong answer. I mean,
there's not a right answer.
My only situation with that is where's the door? Because I would go to the furthest one from the door to provide the next option available to the guy. So
you think you know how to pee? Do you? Let's see how we did. All right, I was correct on the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, you go all the way to the end. They really said 5 or 6. So
5
like
or
you
6,
said.
Yeah.
Tricky. All right, I was right.
Yeah, that's good.
All the way down. I was right on A. I was right here.
Yeah.
Right? I was good.
Your choice, none? Oh, I guess you didn't pick one.
I guess it messed up.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't.
Yeah.
You
got pretty good grasp. I think 100%.
I have a grasp on urinal etiquette.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's a man code, man card deal.
100%, right? There's urinal etiquette, and I realize that ladies don't have that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's because it's a man card.
It is a man card.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's how that falls into. We don't go to the bathroom together. I don't get up and be like, hey, you go to the bathroom, you go with me?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But girls do it all the time.
Because there's something wrong if I ask you that. If I ask you that, if I say to you, hey, will you go to the bathroom with me? You know that you're about to have to buckle up.
That's true. If a dude says you're on a double date, all right, and a guy says to you, will you go to the bathroom with me? Hey, man, I need you to go with me to the bathroom.
You better buckle up.
Something so bad has happened. Like you're fixing to get in a vehicle and drive to Target to buy a new pair of underwear.
Yeah.
Guy.
No.
Or
yeah.
new pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he thought he had a fart.
He's needing a wingman moment.
If a man, that's a great word. If a man asks you to go to the bathroom with him, you know this is wingman moment. You know it's a wingman moment.
Yeah.
Because something horrific has happened to that individual.
Yeah.
And you're having to come through in a big way.
In a pinch.
Because
they couldn't pinch it off.
Yeah.
And it's in their pants.
The only explanation. Or if maybe it's something to do with your date. And they are like, big red flag.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I saw this or this or this, and you need to know this. But then I feel like you could just like text it across the table.
Yeah. Well, even then, I mean, that's why I said specifically, if you're with another dude and he asks you to go to the bathroom with him, buckle up.
Just buckle up. It's fixing to get messy.
You're about to endure some new things in the relationship that's going to draw you closer together in brotherhood.
100%. All right. So outside of bathroom etiquette, what are some other man code things?
Let's see. Well, how about this? There's a hunter code. How about that? So, like when you kill your first animal.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people put blood on your face.
Yeah. So that was a hotly debated topic for a few people at our at the church, but they were all a lot of new hunters, and they were like, "Well, what are you supposed to do?" And so someone was like, "You put blood on their face," and someone was like, "What? I've never heard of that." And I was like, "What do you mean you've never heard of that?" So like, there's like,
I'm gonna find a picture.
So like, it's a thing.
Oh, 100%
it's clearly a thing.
100% a thing. In Africa, like you don't have a choice. So like if you kill a first animal in Africa, I mean that's what's transpiring. Like you do not have a choice.
That's the truth.
So our friend Kalina, right? Our friend Kalina killed a coyote with us.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you can. Let me turn my.
Oh, you can see it pretty good.
Turn it down a little bit. Well, I just want to make sure you can see the red on her face, right?
Yeah.
So she killed a coyote with us. Her first official kill. By the way, can we just talk about the beast mode of her, because she is holding a large. She stood there like this for a long time, holding that coyote with one arm just up, right? The chick is strong.
Yeah,
the chick is strong. But anyway, we put blood on her face, right? So that's kind of a man code.
Yeah,
thing. You get your first kill, you get blood put on your face.
Yeah, that's a thing. That is a total thing. Yeah,
it's kind of like do you? How about this? I'll ask this question: you are in the woods, and you have to poop. Are you going sock or sleeves?
There's not a great answer on this one for me, but I would probably go sleeve.
Would you go sleeve?
I think I'd tear sleeve.
Yeah,
because the sock to me has more inherent value.
Really?
How far into the woods am I? That's a good question. There's some variables here that need to be established. Like, am I like 5 miles into the bush, or am I like at the farm? Because if I'm just there, sock. But if I'm like deep in and like I got a lot more walking to go.
Okay, I could see that.
I'm gonna go sleeve.
That's a good.
I got to think about things a little bit. There's time for these rash decisions.
Okay, no, that's a good word. So you're at the farm. You're going with you're within.
Oh yeah,
I can be home in 10 minutes.
Easy.
I can be home in 10 minutes. I'm just gonna.
Or if it's even just like, how close am I to not having to walk anymore?
Yeah,
because walking around with no sock on.
I don't have socks on.
Right now. And that's also I guess the thing is like if you don't ever wear socks anyway.
I have baby smooth feet. like baby smooth.
It's just because you've worn off all of the things with
Yeah, man.
not wearing socks.
I have the smoothest baby bottom feet, and people like I'll go get a
Mm-hmm.
petty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to admit that. I'll do that sometimes.
Is
It's
that-
been a long time.
Is that a man card item?
I'm a little bougie.
Do you have to punch? Do you have
I'm a
to
little
take punches
bougie.
on the man card for those?
I'm a little bougie.
Yeah.
Bougie Brad. I'm a little
Yeah.
bougie.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of a paraffin wax.
Mm-hmm. A wax?
Paraffin
wax?
Yeah, on your hands.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
It's like you stick your hand in hot wax.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, and
just
then
like-
they put the little glove on it, and then like it gets it like hardens, and they
Mhm.
peel it off. And I do paraffin wax.
Mm.
Um,
That was
you
like
know.
a bird. Have you ever seen a paraffin?
No.
Exotic.
No. But I'm not afraid of that. I like to treat yourself a little bit sometimes. You know, I don't do cheap haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is I go to places that like offer it's like a little mini spa time.
Yeah. You get the hot towel treatment.
Oh, hot towel. They put a little little lavender on the
Mhm.
towel. You know, lay back. And they give you a scalp massage while you get your hair washed,
Mhm.
and when your hands are in the paraffin wax. And I take it all in. You know, just
Take it all in for a moment.
take it all in for a moment.
Therapeutic.
It's therapeutic.
Mhm.
I don't know. Is that is that a
I think
that a
it
man card
depends
thing?
on the degree of. I think it's one of those things that as a man you're like, that's a woman thing. But then you go do it and you're like, that was wonderful.
yeah?
It's like,
I would say maybe that's something that's changed in our culture, maybe a little bit.
I think so too.
You know, I mean, I think if you ask a guy that's probably like 50
Mm-hmm.
and over, they'd be like, "No way, bro,
Mm-hmm.
no way." But then you ask a guy that's like 30,
Yeah.
and he's gonna look at you weird for not doing it.
Yeah.
You know. But then on the flip side of that, you know, we do have a little softer generation coming up behind us.
A little bit.
Well, that'd probably be nice.
That is nice. It's very nice.
Yeah,
I'm trying to work on that with my kids.
being soft.
Well, they're just the idea of giving them responsibility and
Yeah.
saying, I expect this to be done. And if
Yeah.
it's not done, there will be consequences because you are capable.
I talk to my kids all the time that like life is hard and life sometimes sucks, and you're gonna have to figure it out. Like you need to suck it up.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna have to be figuring out how to solve
Mhm.
problems on
Yeah.
your own.
There was I can't remember what is either a president or something like that said the whole soft times make soft men and hard times make hard men, and then the inverse starts to be true. Like the hard men make good times, which therefore creates soft men, which creates hard times, which creates hard men, which creates peace times. Like you've got this soliloquial.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I did watch a video over this study of rats that created like a rat city.
Really?
And it was fascinating. And I don't know if all the I should research it all out because
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true.
Mm-hmm.
But it talked about how there was the alpha males
Mm-hmm.
in the group.
In rat society?
And then you know what? This was also with a I'm trying to remember what happened, but over time they removed the alpha males
Yeah.
from this rat society,
Yeah.
and then the more calm or whatever, and it talked about how like over time how that changed the culture.
Yeah.
And how like they stopped like there was like this, it was just a really strange deal. Like all of a sudden it became to where like there was no order
Oh, really?
brought on by the alpha male rats.
Yeah.
That it became it became
It
violent.
just degraded the society completely.
It degraded the society. That there was like homosexuality happening within this rat population. There was a lack of like eventually like every time they did it, they reintroduce or restart this that it happened the same way every time. That basically, like there was not reproduction that was taking place. There even began to have cannibalism.
Yeah.
Within the society, like it would just completely break down without strong
leadership,
male presence.
Yeah.
Without that leadership.
Yeah.
And you see all these things happen and transpire. And so, this isn't a knock on, but we do live in a society that pushes towards that, a feminist.
I
feel...
it's 100% pushes towards like male masculine toxicity. Yeah. Like that's any form of masculinity is toxic.
Yeah.
Like I'm
a toxic dude. I'm a toxic dude then.
Toxic
You know what I mean?
masculinity.
I hunt for a living. I enjoy manly things outside of getting a pedicure, apparently. I'll get a mani-pedi. But I enjoy doing manly things, right? Like I enjoy outdoor labor. I enjoy hunting. I enjoy guns. All things that a lot of ways would be viewed as, toxic masculinity by our society.
And you believe that male headship is key in the home?
Right.
It's scriptural. It's like
all of those things. And I have a hard time, and this may be controversial, but I'm going to say this. This may get us all canceled right here.
We can go out on that note.
It's fine. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's worse things.
You ain't even heard it yet.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I feel like that there is men and women are not equal.
No, they're absolutely not.
We are not equal. And I don't mean that in an aspect of the idea that women can't have the same job as a man. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about workforce things. I'm not talking that women can't be CEOs and that women can't run businesses and that women can't. I know there's a lot of women that I know that are way more organized. I mean, I know incredible women.
Business women.
Like phenomenal business women. I know, but on the flip side of it, I don't want the jobs of women because they're, I know some of the jobs of women that are so incredibly difficult and they do it so much better. You know what I mean? So many things that they just are just better than us at. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'll come back around and bring scripture into all this in a moment, but there's not equality in the aspect that sometimes placed on us that, women should, and I'll give you an example of that. When stuff hits the fan. Like there's not equality right now with, let's just take Ukraine for instance, right? Women can leave the Ukraine. Can the men? The men can't. They're dying in trenches in the Ukraine fighting. Men are not allowed to leave. The males of Ukraine were not allowed to leave. Women can leave. They've gone all over other parts of Europe. Women have left the Ukraine. The men have no choice but to stay. Right? Role's not the same. It's not. The role's not the same. But where men have these strengths and where women have their strengths, the beauty of the creation of man and woman is incredible. I love how God created woman, right? Beginning of the book of Genesis, we see the creation of man, the creation of everything. God creates Adam, realizes he doesn't have a suitable partner here. You know what I mean? I really, really thought, the platypus may have a run at it, but it just doesn't fit. Yeah. Right. And so he says there's not a suitable helpmate. And so he creates Eve. And it's a beautiful thing, the creation of Eve, right? Because God could have chose a bone to create Eve from the foot to represent that Eve was below Adam. He could have chose a bone from the back to represent that she's behind him. He could have chose a bone from the head to represent that she's ahead of him. Where did he choose the bone from?
As the saying goes, he chose a rib because he's next to her under his arm to be cared for and nurtured.
Right. Well, but it's this beautiful picture of like walking together side by side. Right. I'll say this, behind every great man I've ever met is a better woman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. 100%. Behind every great man I've ever met, there's an incredible woman behind him. I got a lot of respect. I'm not saying he's a perfect by any means. I got a lot of respect for Oklahoma State Senator James Lankford.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough job, man.
Yeah.
I do not want it.
No.
I do not want to be a U.S. Senator.
Mm-mm.
I do not want to be under the ridicule and the political climate in our country. Like, it's an incredibly difficult job, right? I go to church with James. I've known James way before he was a politician. Way before. You did too.
I did.
Right? You've been around James too. I mean, you've been a part of even like there's commercial shoots.
Filmed the very first campaign video.
Yeah, right. So you've been a part of that too. You know James on a personal level as well. I'll say this: James has an incredible wife.
Yeah,
I mean, an awesome, awesome woman. And I would have said that before when he was, working for the Baptist General Convention of Oklahoma, running youth ministry, head of Falls Creek, all those things, running church camp. I would say that about him then, as I'd say it about him today. He has an incredible woman behind him. But this idea, though, that we're equal in what we're instructed with, given between man and woman, we're different. We're different.
Yeah. And
right? And the task of man, there are certain tasks of men that are tasked to men and not to women, same as there are tasks that are given to women that are not given to men. Does that make sense?
100%. No, I mean, I always like to say that the difference was between men and women. We are equal in one way, and that is value.
That's right.
Equally valued, but we are different in so many other ways.
Yeah.
There's things that men can do that women can't do.
Right.
There are things.
Versa.
There are things that women, you and I, we're never going to give birth to a child. We have not got that on our plate. That's one thing that women have that is completely, solely, totally for them. Men are designed to be caretakers, to be whole home caretakers. Women are designed to be these nurturing vessels inside of that home structure. Like, that's God created men and women to be that way. Like, how long ago would we have probably left our kids out in the cold?
Oh, bro.
That's like the patience of my wife far exceeds mine a lot of the times. Like, there and what you said, like, we would both say, like, behind us, we have incredible women that help foster our families, our homes.
Yeah.
And we are able to.
And I was raised by a woman.
Yeah.
My dad died of leukemia when I was, 7 years old, and my mom didn't remarry until I was in high school. So I was raised by a woman. And so the value of a woman, and my mom wasn't perfect. No, not even close. But the value and how I view women and how I view the importance of women.
Yeah.
It's a huge role that was played because of my upbringing. You know what I mean? Like, you hold the door for a woman.
Yeah.
There is a respect level for women. Yes, ma'am. And I've even had people be like, stop calling me ma'am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
no ma'am.
It's like, no ma'am, I'm sorry. And I'll be like, because I remember saying this to people. They'd be like, I'd be like, yes, ma'am. And they're like, you're older than me. You can't refer to me as ma'am. Stop calling me ma'am. I'd be like, here's the deal. I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of my mom. My mom was like 6 foot, 230 pounds, all-state basketball player. Like, my mom, totally. I've seen my mom 2 fist fights. We talked about this. Yeah. She won both of them. One was with a man. Whooped his butt in traffic in Enid, Oklahoma one time.
Yeah.
I do this because out of respect for my mom and what my mom taught me. Like, we'd be walking in a parking lot, getting ready to go to a door, and there's some women coming, and we may be 10 foot behind. My mom would like run up there and open that door for those ladies. Like, run up and open the door. That's what I was taught, and I want to teach my kids that. You know what I mean? And so there's just aspects of I view it as respect. Like, saying yes, ma'am is respect. It's just being respectful.
Well, and even more than that, it's holding them in honor.
Yeah.
Like, I want to honor, and the same thing, like, I want to honor my wife. I want to honor women. Like, I want to show them that they are honorable by me as a man. Like, I am going to serve you.
Right.
And I want my role that God created me as a protector, a caretaker, somebody that's going to provide. Like, that's my role. And want to honor you in those things. And then just like Paul says, like the weaker vessel, like I want to treat them as that.
Has that become because of the lack of those that honoring in our society? Is that made it to where the expectation for women like is different?
Yeah,
because
100%.
that's not there now.
Well, the it's a multiple fold system. Like the objectification of women has played a huge role into that. From everything from just how you see women carry themselves on TV nowadays, even down into like the side of pornography, where women are objectified, and men, you see them as this object as opposed to this thing that's supposed to be honored. Like this is a child of God. This is an image bearer of God. This is somebody that is a co-equal that you're supposed to be protecting and not objectifying and degrading. So like, and the sad part is some women have bought into that lie.
No, yeah,
that they're supposed to be
from.
that.
Right. That's where I'm even going with this.
And so like that's the straw at the end of the drink that's feeding that mentality. So like there is that stuff. And then you get into this other sick and twisted, perverted way of looking at like I should be held at the highest honor because you as a man are nothing. Like, so there's that other side of the degradation too. So it's like it's both sides of the coin that stop appreciating one another, and our world keeps continuing to go down that road where it's cancellation wise for us to sit here and say like, look, men and women are equal in value but separate. Like we're not the same in any way, shape, or form, and they don't cross lines either.
Right.
Like that's the other thing. So like it becomes something that can, in our culture now, is not popular.
Yeah.
Because it's that anything you can do, I can do better thing, which is not true.
Yeah.
Like literally, I can't have a baby better than a woman can.
Right.
And they can't build a skyscraper like a bunch of men can. Like it's different. Like there's different bone densities, even like down to the molecular level,
right,
and differences.
Right.
So.
Right. And I feel like because of that, man, like I think about just, I have a daughter.
Oh yeah. It's
and let
terrifying.
me tell you something, buddy. Let me tell you something. That dude, whoever he is, first off, I'm praying for him
every day.
One, because he's going to marry Ava Clay, which is a handful.
Buckle up,
buckaroo. It's gonna be a handful. But on the flip side of it is that the standard in which I have set, that I hope will be the set for Ava, is really high, and I'm not 100% sure, where that cat's going to come from because of our culture in which we live today. Because roles have been viewed so differently, and then women have bought into, like you said, they've bought into this what it's supposed to look like, when in fact it's not.
Oh, they bought into the lie that like you can be like a man, and not like in the physical sense of like the other stuff that's going on, but like role wise, like you can be the man, you can be it's like, no, like God created you to be a woman, and God created a man to be a man, and you're supposed to be working together. Like this is a team effort, and there's roles specific to each of you. And I mean, we could get into all of that if we really wanted to dive deep, but I mean, that could be for a different conversation at a different time. But with just the general culture of our world, seeing that we can be equal in value, but have different roles that are necessary. I would even argue like that's necessary. And I mean, I've heard you talk multiple times about growing up like you did. You were raised by a woman. You were raised by a great mom that instilled these values into you too. But I've also heard you talk about like not having that dad figure in your life.
That's huge, man.
It was huge.
It's huge.
So
yeah, it was massive. So the idea that, I mean, my mom did the best she could, and I would say my mom did have, there were aspects that she bled into me that were characteristics that men have. Like my mom's aggressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mom's confrontational. My mom was aggressive. My mom my mom was as an alpha of a female as there ever was created, right? And so there's a lot of those aspects that men carry that my mom carried as well, right? And so even though I was raised by a woman, I was able to pick up on and have some of those things instilled in me. But I will say there's other aspects. My mom would always tell me, she goes, Brad, there's always somebody a little bit bigger and a little bit badder. I remember my mom always telling me that. You know, listen, there's always going to be somebody who's a little bit bigger and a little bit better and a little bit badder than you. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. You know, it was her way of like keeping me humble. You know, as I was beginning to excel at sports or I was doing this or whatever, there's always going to be somebody a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and a little bit badder than you. There just is. There's always going to be that dude out there.
She's trying to instill that meekness. Right.
Yeah. She wanted there to be a meekness, but it also makes you want to work harder because you're like, well, I want to be the dude.
Yeah.
I want to be the dude. I want to be that guy. I want to be the one where other people are going, hey, there's always somebody a little bit bigger, a little bit badder, a little bit better. There he is right there. You know, and so I worked hard at that. And it was a motivator too, you know, but it did bring about an aspect of humbleness. And so, you know, that was one of the truths that my mom, you know, instilled in me that I still, you know, I think about that and I carry that on. But you're right. No, roles in America and the aspects of roles in America and how we lack an aspect of just understanding and embracing what our roles are and not trying to bleed that over into things that it shouldn't bleed over into is tough. And so I know we started this talking about man cards.
Yeah.
And we just chased this other rabbit because...
And I mean, they exist together, though. I mean, we talk about what is the most important thing is you have as a man card. Hopefully, that most important thing on your man card is that you're a man of God. Like, that's the thing that you
that checks so many other things.
It checks all the other boxes. Because, I mean, even down into marriage, you say, like, I'm going to be a man of God, and I'm going to serve my wife as Christ served the church. He gave himself for her.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to go into that. Like, I mean, I just got done doing that wedding the other day. And that's where I lived. Yeah. It's like, this is what you guys in your roles are called to. That complementarian, like, you guys are different, but you're going to work together, and it's a compounding service between you two that it makes your marriage beautiful and allows the world to see Christ through your marriage.
100%.
Like, that idea of the man card, if your man card primarily exists as a unit of, I am a man of God, that, like you said, I think you find urinal etiquette somewhere in there checked off.
Yeah, no, you do.
Because look at this. Is not urinal etiquette all about how you can serve the other guy? Thinking about the guy in front of you.
No, it is. It's thinking about somebody else.
Every single thing.
It's thinking about somebody else. It is. No, 100% it is. 100% it is. It's about how...
Take that to the bank.
It's about how you are making it a better experience for the other person.
Yeah.
And honestly, that, you know, what a great place to land because if our mindsets could be in life in general with every aspect of who we come in contact with is how can I be a blessing and put the other person first? If we live within a culture that is so selfish. We live in a culture that's so selfish because we live in a culture that says, go get yours, right? We live in a culture that says, you want to be happy, you need to make more money, you need to have possessions, things. And we know that those things are not going to be the things that satisfy you. But our society says it is different, right? Our society says, man, you want to be happy, you got to have more money. You want to be happy, you got to live in a bigger house. You want to be happy, you got to drive a new vehicle. You want to be happy, you got to have a new iPhone. You want to be happy, you got to, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, right? You got to have this, you got to have this, you got to have this. And so, you know, it's an unfortunate aspect that's one of Satan's ploys.
Yes.
Satan uses materialistic things as a ploy to get us to not be who God called us to be. And, you know, you're talking about, you know, being the man that God called you to be. It starts with, one, you got to have a relationship with him. You got to have a relationship with God. You have got to have surrendered your life to Jesus. First off, you admit that you're a sinner. You believe that Jesus is who he says he is, and then you confess him as the Lord of your life. Like that's where it has to start. You can't be the man that God called you to be without first off being in surrenderance to.
Yeah, if you're not willing to come and die.
Yeah, got to come and die, right? So once that happens, then it comes back to saying, okay, I got to apply these things that God says. I got to apply the truths that God says about me to me. I got to walk in that.
Yeah.
And once that begins to happen, so many of these other things fall into place.
Yeah.
About being the father, just a leader, that God's called you to be.
Yeah. That's, if the world could look like, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and with all your mind, with all your strength. And the second thing, love your neighbor as yourself. There's no other greater commandment than these.
Yeah.
If your man card could be checked and stamped by that.
And then the idea too that, no greater love is for a man to lay down his life for his friend.
Exactly.
Because it's about the other person. And we have lost sight of that in our society.
We live in me land.
We live in me land.
We live in me land.
We live in me land. That's a good word. We live in me land, and we live in a place that is so focused on ourselves and what brings us happiness and brings us joy that the idea of sacrifice and the idea of it's about the other person it's become foreign.
Yeah.
And that's in all aspects of relationships. And
that idea of we serve others because we've been served.
Yeah.
And being it all directs itself back. It all forwards back. Like why, and we talked about forgiveness and giving things up in that last episode. Like, why do we do that? Like, because I've been forgiven much, I therefore forgive.
Yeah.
Because I've been shown grace, I therefore give grace. Because I've been served, therefore I give service. Like, because God calls me to honor my wife instead of put her under my thumb and hold her in high regard and praise her and make sure that she's treated as this precious vessel, is because God's done that for me, even though I'm this broken.
And it's sad that there's some
jar.
women who would say, I don't want that, because they undervalue themselves because of what society has said about them, has degraded them. They're like, well, I don't want to be viewed as being a precious or this flower or whatever, because society there's been this degradation of women in our society. And here's the deal. That comes back. That's our fault as men. Yeah. It's our fault as men.
It does. 100%. And I mean, all we can do is...
It's more your fault than mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Debatable. We're good.
I carry in more groceries than you.
That's fine. We buy less groceries.
That is true, bro. That's true. That is so true.
You've got an astronomical advantage.
I do have an astronomical advantage, and he's talking about me and my girth. We're talking about. I got three boys.
Three boys with larger stomachs.
Yeah, bro. They just
larger stomachs
on the grow, man.
Yeah,
on the grow.
Yeah.
Adam, man, this was a good podcast.
Yeah, and
this was a good podcast.
I think it's good.
We walked the line a little bit. We may have made somebody mad.
That's fine. I mean, if that upsets you, I hope it does.
No, exactly.
I hope it does, because you're doing an injustice to what the Word of God says. Word to
your mother.
You got to
word to your mother.
If you are not if you're a woman and you need this for some reason, you're listening to this. If you don't hear it from anybody else, you'll hear it from two of us. That we hope that we can honor you and hold you in high regard as one of the children of God that God has allowed us to help and serve.
Yeah. 100%.
And then if you're a guy that's mistreating your woman, we'll find you. We've got a particular set of skills.
Oh, that's 100%, bud. 100%.
Yeah.
Adam, where can people find you?
You can find me on the internets, on the webs, at the YouTubes. And Hurley Films is our channel, and we are still working on our house. Coming along eventually, maybe someday.
Someday.
We got a storm shelter we could move into.
You could.
Yeah.
Because you're not living in your house because you don't have cabinets.
No.
So dumb.
Yeah.
You can find Final Descent Outdoors on Instagram and on Twitter at FD Outdoors. Love for you to give us a follow there. Final Descent Outdoors on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're watching this and listening to this on YouTube, make sure you give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. We'd love for you to do that. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast or any of the other platforms, I'll go a little bit further. Not only just subscribe to us.
Can they leave a review?
They can.
Ooh, 5-star.
Give us a 5-star review.
10-star.
And if you're watching this on Carbon TV, give us that 10-star review on Carbon TV.
10-star.
As well. Yeah, you can go 10-star there.
Not like a sheriff's 10-star, but
we're at 10-star.
10-star.
You can give us a 10.
With an
10
E.
10 out of 10.
With an E, 10.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, guys, so much for watching. God bless you, and we'll do this again in about 4 weeks.
Something like that.
Something like that.
It'll be good.